Testing. Okay. Yes, it should say it's recording now. Hi, Julian. And also, hi, so we're recording this. Hi, everyone. My name is AJ. This is the Money Store channel, and I'm here to discuss with Julian just how he's been, what has been going on in the world of news about La Luz del Mundo, the light of the world, and controversies and all these whole network of things. We haven't recorded a video in like over a year, almost a year, 12 to 14 months, somewhere there. And yeah, it's good to talk to you again, Julian. Welcome.
For sure, man. For sure. It's good to see you. Um, I mean, we've been keeping in touch, you know. It's not like we're
Oh,
just
yes.
like on the video. I mean,
And I wish
but
we
it's
could
just
keep in touch more. I wish we could like, hang out more,
yeah.
but still, every time we link up, we're of the same mind, and we were asking like the same questions and all that. So yeah, I interrupted you. Go on.
Oh no, no. It's just good, you know. To just kind of like come back to the surface real quick and just a lot has happened a lot, and you know we've just been busy, man. We have a life and we have things that we gotta do. You're going to school and you got that whole thing going on, and I'm just working around my house, and it's been good, man. It's been good, and man, it's been fun.
Yeah, for sure. Well, one thing too that people have wondered about, and then where I've told people that my mind is, I'm like, yeah, I've sort of stepped away from talking so much about what's going on in the news. I've certainly been observing, as much as I can, and it can take up a lot of time. But if one really cares about what's going on, there's new ways of learning about what's going on in the news regarding the organization, how it's keeping up. I wish I knew more about Mexican politics. I wish I knew more about like on the ground Mexican politics over there and the history of this thing. Like as based in like documents and testimonies and all that sort of stuff. I wish I knew more, but yeah, so far I've just been watching documentaries. I've been tuning into YouTube things every once in a while, like really not a
Yeah,
lot. There's so much out there, and I'm glad that people are talking more. And I hope it's all productive, and I hope that what we talk about is productive too. And what else was I gonna say? I was gonna say one more thing.
it's kind of blurry.
Just
You
like,
can't really see it, dude. Yeah, we
hold
can
on,
just see like
excuse
like a
me.
ghost.
Dang, I'm editing that out for sure.
No, you're good, dude.
But yeah, I was gonna say, um, yeah, I hope all the conversation has been productive for people, and that we all know how to talk about it when we need to talk about it and help who we know, and then
Yeah.
also when to step away and just work on ourselves. So yeah, I'm trying to be like you. I'm trying to work on my house, and I'm trying to um just grow up, live my life, move on. And
Yeah.
we'll over the course of the next hour or so, we'll be talking about just what's been on our minds, and yeah, we'll take it from there. Number one, uh, um, number one, I guess the most breaking news that happened last week was that there's new federal charges against Nason for there's at least two, and it's for particular things that, to my understanding, and let me know what you think. To my understanding, they were left off from the trial that the state was having with this guy and with his lawyers. There were things that were like taking off the docket, taking off his roster, and I hope that it is possible that maybe the state prosecutors um, knew that the federal government could take up responsibility for those things later, when they took them off. I'm not sure what have you heard so far, but anyways, the thing is that there's two new charges, and this is going to affect him somehow. There may be more. Um, back and forth with the state.
Yeah.
Well, what do you where's your
I'm
mind with
not
that?
sure. Like, I think, man, I can't really like. I may be wrong, but I think like as far as the deal went, he agreed to like like the charges that right, he pleaded guilty. But I think that didn't mean that
Yeah,
like
yeah,
he
with the
didn't
state.
he
You
the
had
other
to.
charges don't exist. It's just that this is the deal. You're gonna plead guilty to these, and you're gonna do the time for these charges, whatever they are. But I think as far as like all the other charges that they exist, he just didn't get that. That's the deal, right? I think out of all those, two of them were federal crimes. So I'm assuming like the federal court came and we're gonna pick these two up because that's got to deal with us. So I think, I mean, I may be wrong.
Mhm.
I'm not like a expert, but that's what I'm thinking in my head that happened. Because I think those two crimes that he's being charged with is as far as I remember they were found in his laptop, right? And it's for production of um, you know,
Oh, and you're breaking up on my end.
yeah, you kind of froze too.
Okay, we're resuming. So we were discussing we were discussing the um we were discussing the charges that have just come up, and and I think you're right about it. I'm not, so don't no, nobody can quote me, but I'm pretty sure that what's going on is that there were two charges, that there was a set of charges he agreed to back in the summer of 2022, and that gives him like 16-ish years, up, less than 10, somewhere there, like that. He's working within a range of those numbers. And now the federal government is swooping in to take up responsibility for processing these two specific charges. And people seem confident about it. People seem not surprised by it. We've known since like what, 2020,
I'm
that the
not
federal
surprised,
government
bro.
confirmed that they are interested in investigating this guy for these specific things. So, in another, I wonder if there's another state where the state is like, yeah, this probably is the same case in other states where like the states can rely on the federal government to deal with this kind of crime, and they don't have to do it through their courts for specific things that they don't like.
Yeah,
Um, and so the state in this case for Nason was just um, taking care of something.
yeah.
So what am I trying to say?
Like he's
Or
freaking screwed.
okay,
No, I'm just kidding. No, but yeah, I think I don't think it's like the nature of the case. Come on, like you're in the video, like he was in it recording, and it's just all bad. But I think I think it's just how the process has to go. Like the first he had to go through all this, and now the federal stuff comes, and I'm not surprised if more things come, bro. Like just and with federal court, from what I hear it's like bad. Like it's hard to beat these guys. You know what I mean? Like it's like that federal court doesn't come after you just because like we think like we might have something here. Like no, they come after you because they got you, kind of deal.
yeah,
That's what I
that's what I
hear.
mean by people seem confident about the
Okay.
federal government coming forward, because they I don't want to say that there's a number, but people will cite a number and say that the government is successful this amount of the time. And
Mhm.
when it comes to these specific things, maybe they do have a case like already, you know, thorough. But
Yeah.
also, like the church is saying, that the church has also released its press release. I read it kind of quickly. I can't like, I don't want to say,
Yeah.
I'm
From
not
what
able to relitigate it. I don't have
I
any
saw a
windows
video.
open, but they've said that they don't like that it's been 4 years already, that it's been 4 years and the federal government is now barely gonna start doing something, and you guys are putting him under the microscope too much.
But
Um,
it's like, yo, like the
you
charges
know,
are serious. I
they
think
say the government's like look disorganized. We can't trust them. You know.
that what I saw on that pastor that gave out that like note the when he let the church know, right?
Yeah.
He gets away with so much because so much of the members, bro, like, and we know this, they just don't know like the law, or they don't. Some do, but most of them don't. Like my parents don't. They're gonna just hear this pastor talk and be like, "Yeah, you're right. Why?" And it's like, hey, like, I mean, it's just how the law works, like, um, the pastors mentioned that they're trying to pick up charges that were dismissed, and it's like, yo, they were never dismissed. This is how the deal works. Like, they don't explain it correctly, bro. They just, they have to lie to the members. They have to lie. They don't explain for what they are. They've been lying since the beginning. They never explain the deal correctly. They just want to say like he's gonna take these charges so he doesn't have to do so much time. And it's like, no, bro, you're taking these charges because if you go to trial like you were supposed to, and you were gonna be this cyber tooth tiger that God was gonna just defend you, and that's just the truth, bro. But they always sugarcoat it with lies, and that's what they're doing again. They're telling the members, basically trying to make the law look wrong, like they're the evil ones. Yeah, they're trying to get him for two charges that were already dismissed. That's kind of what basically what they're trying to say. And it's like, first of all, they weren't dismissed. He took this deal, and that does not mean that these charges were dismissed. It just means like he's not going to do the time for those charges. He's only pleading guilty to these charges. Now, why don't you explain to the members that some of those charges are federal crimes? What if the federal court wants to come back and pick up these? This is a whole different court. It ain't the same court. They didn't even explain that. They didn't even want to explain. They're just not honest. And a lot of the members are starting to notice that, and do, like, that's what this is why it's important to do your own research, right? I learned a lot about, not a whole lot, but I understood a few things of how law works, and you know why things happen, doing all this research with like Nason and all this stuff that's happening, and all these little tricks that his lawyers were trying to use, and you know but I think members are gonna definitely be more like suspicious, because things are just getting worse, and it's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
makes me wonder, like, sorry, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that I agree with what you mean. I wish that I could see more firsthand how the members are doing it, but yeah, the members of the organization are still that are still in there, got to be fatigued and continuously fatigued.
Yeah.
And um, sometimes, oh, here's something else that what you said made me word this, that sometimes I don't even feel like doing all the research and reading every document word for word, because I feel like um no matter what, there's going to be some sort of response that the church is going to give, and it doesn't feel like um as we've commented, it doesn't feel like these people are like can act in good faith. It doesn't feel like they are going to be as transparent as they can be and should be. And the church hasn't run a an an internal investigation on itself, and so it's
Yeah.
it's hard to trust anything they say. But
Well, I think a lot of it too is like, since before all this charges, since way back, since the church started, the pastors and the apostles, they've always had the answers to everything. Everything that happens in the church, any problems, any like thing, any whatever, they've always had the answers to the members, right? And then the members have this, like, all this utmost trust to them, and we're going to be okay. So now that this is happening, I think the members, not all of them, not anymore, but some of them are still um, on that mindset. Like, they still have that, like, whatever these guys say, it's just the truth, and well, they would never lie to us. Like we just
Yeah.
believe this and that. And I think that's just like an aftermath of how how this church has always operated, as far as just giving these members good news, or all they always have the answers, and don't, and it kind of goes back into like the apostle is like the perfect guy, and he's always right, and it's gonna be okay, and this and that, because and that's why they come out with this like quotes, right? Like um hasta el último aliento kind of thing. It just kind of all plays back, and they kind of have some sort of comfort, but if they just knew, like, man, it's just sad at the
Yeah.
end of the day. But
Mhm.
I think those are the last of the members that are gonna like maybe wake up, or snap, or kind of just say like, yo, like okay, yeah, we trust you, we've been believing you all these letters, but it's like it's only getting worse. Like, well, like what happened? I wish, bro, I wish that members, or if we can have all the clips of when someone's going through the case. And you remember how they were saying all these things? Oh, we're seeing results. We're getting, God is responding, and all this nonsense. And God is gonna, you'll see how God is gonna defend him, and he's gonna come out. And I think he even one time his own brother, Nason's own brother, even said that Nason said that God had already told him, like that he couldn't wait to get out because he's gonna tell the members of all the testimonies that happened. And this was back when like he was saying like he was baptizing or preaching the word, and a lot of the prisoners were also like singing like the cantos, or the hymns with him. And it was just like, that's just so ridiculous. I think members easily forgot about that, and they
Yeah.
need to go back and kind of like recap all the little things they've been saying, like what happened to this, what happened to that. Like it's just been lie after lie after lie. It's insane. It's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. So, as we've been talking about, and people can feel like a sense of fatigue with all the news and everything, but the members feel it too with, the how the information is being given to them. So people they're still in, but a lot of people have gotten out. And
Yeah.
we don't need to talk about any specifics, but I've heard good stories about people getting out and people changing over time. And um I've also lost track of other people that just seem to get out and move on. But yeah, there's still people in there. And I was gonna say that what you're discussing like reminds me of a couple of things. Um, I was going to say that the um, geez, I'm losing my track of mind. Um, I feel like there's a lot of there's just so much going on. Everyone has to be tired at this point. Um, people have well, an interesting thing about it is people have a distrust towards the government. Like that's something that's been talked about in the church, and I feel like yeah, that's healthy to a certain extent, but to another extent, like this one, where there's just so much process dedicated to Nason. We should just kind of we should trust what's going on. We should trust what's going on, and it's not how do you say? It's not a waste of time and resources. It kind of is because Nathan, is putting up all these fronts to what he has to face. But this is all there for a reason. And I just wish and hope that everyone gets to learn a little bit more about, how the government is working and why it works in this way. And
Yeah,
um,
for sure.
and comparing that, what's going on there and in the media to what they are being told. And you're saying that people are suspicious, and I certainly encourage like all the suspicion. I hope people like learn to be more suspicious, get to just process what's going on, and then just move on with their lives. Um, I speak for both of us when we say that like we're here to help anyone that has questions about how to get out. But everyone is going through their own process, and I hope that over time, especially the young people, get to grow up and reach a point where they can find a way out of the organization that is like safe and healthy to them, and conducive to getting other people out. Um, I don't talk to anyone who's too deep in the organization like these days, but I feel like I've said what I've needed to say, and I hope that they can get out and help each
Yeah.
other get out. And you said that Nason's brother was discussing how how Nason couldn't wait to get out to say all this stuff. Um, they say all kinds of things, and and plus also like Nason, what the firmness of the church's indoctrination in people shows itself every day, and I hope that over time it gets to wear away, but it is durable, even though that there's the fact that a lot of these people never got to meet this person in person. They never got
Yeah.
to meet Nason. Like everyone, we've talked about this for a lot before, but everyone knows him in a particular way, and we just hope that people can sort of break away from that and divest themselves, like personally and in whatever
Well,
other way, from the
I
church so
think,
that they can get out. And it starts with the suspicions, and it starts with like asking questions and
yeah,
um
you don't have to meet a person to be so attached, right? That's one thing I learned. Like other religious people are so attached to like a painting or like a piece of statue or even us, bro. Like I have a blanket that my mom gave me when I moved out, and I still have it. And it's the Mexican with the tiger, bro, and I still have it, bro. I just can't
yeah,
sleep without it. But okay, I'm going off topic, but what I'm trying to say is like I think members do have an attachment, but it ain't towards Nason. They think it's what it is, but what they feel, and I think it's what keeps members keep going is the community, right? They've suffered with all these members. They've built all these food events. They've cried. They've gone through all this roller coaster. There's like a movie in this church. Samuel died, and then oh my god, and then like here comes the next superhero, which is Nason, and all those emotions. Even though it was all a lie in their world, it's real, and they're still like living this like this like intense movie, and
yeah,
they're there on their own, even though they haven't met this guy. They're there for each other. They understand each other. They're suffering with each other. They're here putting up all this money. They're the ones that are working hard. So I think in the end they develop this like very close tight bond within the community. So I think a lot of them, I think Nason hides behind that. Like the members go through all this mess, all this emotion, all this struggle, all this like tears, work, hard labor, whatever you want to call it, everything. And then Nason just comes, appears, and wants to like, oh, it's gonna be okay, and like here, come here, and like, and then like he takes kind of like all the credit, you know what I'm saying? And it's like they never met him, but this church has figured out a formula, like a recipe to bring Nason in at the right time, and it's like, yo, like we talked about this too. Like members, since they've never met him, but people, why do they cry when they see like an artist at a concert? They got attached to a certain lyric or certain verse. Even me, bro. Like when I hear like music, rap, and something really hits home, like like I like that artist more. Like for some reason, I just get so into the music. But that attachment is what I'm trying to get at. Like I feel like members just have this attachment towards him, and of course, like La Luz Del Mundo, it's all that's ever done, bro. NJG everywhere, like they really like stamped this guy's face like all over their like room, frames, tie, like you name it, decal stickers everywhere, like it's insane. But I think members need to realize like you know they need to give themselves more credit. They're stronger and they shouldn't fear. They should that's something that I really struggled with was when I was barely doing my research on the whole case. Like dude, I was so scared, bro. Like I couldn't believe that I was like, you know, like I was like swimming from the shore and then trying to like find what's out here. What's this about, and
yeah, for sure.
um
Let
yeah.
me pick up with something you said. I agree when you say that that the members need to give themselves more credit. and to their instincts, to their own ability to decide for themselves what is right and what is wrong, and what is being told to them. Um, they need to, understand with, why they were there in the first place. What can they do to get out of there and still retain whatever it is in there that they find so valuable? How can they have that outside of the organization? And they got to realize that they've been, like you're saying, like they're being used to an extent by Nason to defend himself in the public, to to
Yeah.
um, to say that every time that he is being attacked, it truly is everybody else that is being attacked and persecuted for their faith, for their religious beliefs. Um, it feeds into like a persecution narrative. The guy has all the rights to defend himself in court, but what is, everyone should be just, and everyone should be and has to be like, to an to some extent within themselves. I think everybody just has to be, to an extent, um uh angry that they can only listen to the church for information, and that they can't get it out there for themselves. And it's this
Yeah.
has been, just as like they've been taken on a ride, all these years. um, this has been like, the past 3, 4 years have been such a like testing ground for everybody to challenge, like so many conversations, so many like challenging private conversations have gone on, like the hundreds of these things, right? And then
Hmm.
over days and over like the span of 10 minutes, an hour, hours and hours amongst different families. And it's none of us are like privy to all of that, but let's hope that we can all, be there for each other and get to foment and help people just get out, and let the courts handle this thing. Like let government just try to do what it can with what just happened. And people can try to pursue just different religious routes. The whole church is grounded in exploration of what is spiritually important, and a relationship with God, an explanation for how the universe is, and what love is, and who Jesus is. The church is concerned with like spiritual needs that people have. And everybody everywhere who's gotten out has faced like, has had to parse through everything that they've been told. And
Yeah.
so much of it has to go away, but some of it is retained. And um we just want people to get out. We just want people to get out as quick as they can, so that they have time to figure this out for themselves. I don't
Yeah,
know.
for sure.
Have you heard any like stories of people that are still in but just haven't gotten out? What are you thinking?
Man, dude, I know a couple people that are still like going, but they're way out, and they do it for their families.
Mhm.
And I think I know there's people that I think they're out too, but when I say like leave the church, like now that I think about it, bro, now that I've been out for so long, it's like even I miss not I guess like I miss like the community, like the
Yeah,
people's personalities, and I think that's what a lot of them are scared of because that's really why they're there. That's what they don't want to leave because they've been there forever, right? And it's like what are you gonna do when you leave and you're like out here and you're just like it's a very scary situation. Um, but yeah, I know a lot of people that are out for sure. They're just there because of how it is, like just how La Luz del Mundo, what they preached, if you're married to someone who's left or doesn't believe, you got to divorce him, you got to leave him. If it's your mom, your dad, your child, whoever, and
mm,
it's on video. These people, a lot of members might say like, no, we don't preach. Like, bro, it's on video. Like when someone got arrested, I forgot the name of that pastor, but we can find the video. But he literally says like they are poison. There are this all these diseases. Like they're like they're tumors. Like it's crazy.
yeah.
Um,
The specific person is Gilberto Garcia. I can't recall
yeah,
the specific name, but something
yeah,
Garcia, something with G. Triple
It's
G, who knows?
it's Salum. It's the spokesman's dad, Salum. Salum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Silem,
So yeah, Silem or no Silem. My
Silem.
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, Silem Garcia, the guy who was making all these headlines. And anyway, but
he's
what
not
the
spokesperson anymore, right? For like the past year or so, for like a series of months, he hasn't been the spokesperson, but he's still like,
Yeah, I think it
uh,
was in like hot waters. Like he was
yeah,
out here doing all this, and then like a lot of people start really exposing him for who he really is, like personal stuff.
yeah.
I mean, we already knew he was lying, but like it got deep where they were exposing him like at a deeper level, and I think he had to like kind of back off. I think they told him probably, hey, you gotta chill out. But one thing I was gonna say, I don't want to forget is
Hmm.
um, I think a lot of the members, the reason why they I think they don't know how to deal with the situation is another reason is because they've always like believed this I like to say movie because a movie is always like it ain't real, right? And they've been told, you know, Nason, all these superpowers or all these miracles and all the whole time, right? And it's like I remember growing up, I will always wonder, will I ever get to see a miracle perform by like if I go to like Guadalajara or I see something crazy. That's every member's like kind of like thought at one point. At least for me it was. Will I ever get to witness one of these testimonies that these pastors are always talking about that they would love to talk about you know, in the transmissions. They always had crazy testimonies, bro, and then everybody would be like touched. And that's what got the
Something that would
members
motivate you to
believe more.
tell everyone.
Yeah.
It's not just amazing for you. It's just like you got to tell everybody.
Yeah, and that's why the members are like so like I don't know another church, bro, that they live in this high level of just like a fantasy, dude, because you gotta understand these people literally believe that this guy has all these powers, right? Maybe not so much anymore. But the reason why I say that is because now that you're talking about like the court and everything that's happening, well, now that it's a reality in their movie where the government or whoever this bad evil is that it's using the government to go after them, the church. Well, this is, and I can't say this enough. This is the perfect time for their movie ending to like just right. Like this will be
Yeah,
huge. This is what the church been waiting for, guys. Please, please, me. If I was a member still, I would be bragging. Watch what's gonna happen, and it's gonna go down. And it's like, yo, like nothing
it
happened,
hasn't
bro.
happened yet. Yeah,
The son is just falling down and down the hole, and God like never came, never like rescued him, nothing. And it just shows Nason instead of God coming to rescue his chosen one, right? Like they always talked about, always. Nason, Joaquin, whatever. Instead of that happening, bro, it's like Nason, who did he run to? He didn't run to like God or nothing, bro. He literally got the most expensive lawyers. Man, members just need to just look at that angle of it. Just look at
mhm.
the nature of how Nason is acting. Forget about all this forget about the case and all these for a minute. Just look out how this apostle is reacting to all this situation that's going on around him. Look how he's acting.
Yeah,
Where's his trust at? Where's his God? Like his he what he preaches, he's not even doing that. He's not doing that.
he's I want to add, he's like
Like
muffled.
such a
He's
hypocrite,
muffled to
bro.
like a certain extent by the state, like the state, the the penal system, the Department of Corrections of California, the system of imprisonment, has taken him away for what he's done and has like muffled him to a certain extent because now he can't have all these appearances everywhere. He can't travel everywhere to boost morale in the church and all these in the various corners of the world that it's at. And you're right about like the miracle never came. The miracles never arrived. That not so it is only it is literally I've kind of gotten bored by it being a series of continuous bad news for the church at different levels. And I never feel like I've ever seen a compelling piece of evidence that the church is having a rebound or is like um
Yeah.
actually doing better than it's ever done before. Like not at all. I can't speak to certain numbers. I wish I had graphs. If I had graphs, I'd bet money that these things and
I don't even think
measured
it's
in the
worth
right
it, bro.
ways are only show that this thing has gotten worse. And I can't
Yeah.
speak to any extent, but um I was gonna say that um it's continually bad. I have two other points that I wanted to say, but what were you gonna say?
Oh, like how you mentioned about having a graph and having all these numbers. I get why you say that because a lot of the members need to like, well, where's your proof, right? But it's
No,
like at
really.
this
Yeah.
point, like,
I want them. I understand why they want that, but you can arrive at this point of our thought in a different way without needing those graphs. Like if you
yeah,
just lend yourself to curiosity in your own mind to to sit down and investigate this and then and then do the hard work of discussing this with your close with people close to you with your loved ones, etc. um it has to start somewhere, and if you have to be the person within your tiny circle, you have to do it. And it's not going to be pretty, and it's not pretty to be like wasting your time
oh
at these
man,
places.
I
um
wish. I wish if you're watching this video and you're that person that AJ's saying that one person in your circle that no one wants to talk about nothing, but you're that one person that's just like bothering you, bro. If they just did some little bit of research, like man,
the
like
levees, like the levees in our minds like break progressively. And I got my this completely like unraveled my
you know
world at a
you
certain
know what
point.
I
It did for different
yeah.
people, like I said, everyone's going through their own processes. And if you've arrived
Yeah.
at this point, then just you have to do it. Like you have to do it, and do it for just bettering your own life, because the ship is sinking, and it's only just kept sinking.
I heard I was listening to this song the other day. I saw it on Instagram, and it made a
Yeah.
verse. It was like a workout reel, and then it said a verse, and I love what it says, bro. It says, "The more I know, the less I think," and I was like, and that's kind of like what happened with me, bro.
The
Like
more you act, bro, right?
it's just became like it's like I feel like members they want all this like they all the members that are still in they want this just like relief god and it's like once they start to do a little bit of research and they're just like answering their own questions and it's like literally like they're gonna feel that relief, bro. Because and it's not gonna be a relief that they expect like a movie relief. It's like it's just gonna hit them so hard, dude. Like yo, this whole time like they lie to us. How can they have not lied to us? This guy lives in Mexico. That's how it hit me, bro. I was like, this guy's Mexican. He's
Yeah.
reading the Bible and trying to sound this like antique, you know, vocabulary from like Spain. And it's like, why you talk like that? Like it just all just started like just like making sense.
It's spiritual theater, like you said earlier. Like it's it's experimentate. There's elements of experimentation in this like spiritual practice and the spiritual setting, but it's all like spectacle. Like it's pyrotechnics. It's fake. It's not real. That this man doesn't do the miracles he does. He hasn't done them in front of
Yeah.
your face. He doesn't show up to your house and then not do miracles. He doesn't. He you only see him in certain contexts. They sell you merchandise with him. People have pictures of him everywhere. Like it's weird, and we have to teach people. And this is something we've talked about all the time, but like how do we make this, how do we pull people back a couple 6 feet and make them see just how weird it is, that they are involved in
Yeah,
this
for
thing.
sure, dude.
And the family. And the family in the hierarchy just owns all these properties that don't do anything for the church. And it's that the guy was at the World Cup in 2018 in Russia. Like Like we know that he was there. You can't lie. It's not fake that he
with a
wasn't.
bunch of little girls,
He
like
was.
younger
uh,
girls, bro.
yeah, and there's and people, and then those people also that were close to that were close to people that were close to other people that were close to Nason, that were to some degree close to that person, and that had certain people in their families like go serve or to go do a favor for free to the church or to the house where he lives in, the residence,
Yeah,
go do free labor at one of his ranches. It is not it should be fishy to people that sometimes that young women were going close to this man to clean his house or to sing him a song or dance for him or something like that.
yeah,
Whoever those people are have to realize that sometimes um these like the people were close to him, but not everyone was close to him, and not everyone truly knew him. There's a set of people that truly knew him up close and personal, and certain things happened to them, and we have to believe them for what they said. But then also pulling it back to just the general members, he hasn't visited everyone's house like ever. He's never done that, but he certainly could have done that. He doesn't have magic powers. He can't stop hurricanes. One thing I wrote about was how there's a hurricane that hit Acapulco, Mexico, like a couple of days ago. Did you hear about this?
I think I saw it on TikTok or
Yeah,
Instagram.
and they
Like,
showed like damage and stuff. And I heard it on the radio. I saw it online, and people, so slowly over time, people are finding out what the damage is. But people, passed away, unfortunately. And I was going to say that, not a peep from the church about this. Like I think, right? If Nathan has stopped hurricanes in the past before, certainly he could have stopped every other one. And here's one where that hit Mexico, and I'm pretty sure I know members that go there, or I used to know members that go there. They I don't want to say any of them were hurt, but Nathan didn't stop that hurricane for them. Um, and can I tell you another thing about
yeah,
that I've been thinking about that I've heard in the news, and I told someone else, but I didn't tell you, was that there's been a reignition of conflict over in Israel and Palestine since the beginning of the month, and people are finding out what everyone else thinks about it, and people are learning about what's going on and acting and whatnot.
yeah,
Um, I knew someone that years ago, they told me once that when they were in Mexico, in Guadalajara in like the 80s or in the 90s or something, that
yeah.
there was a conflict, a breakout of conflict between Israel and Palestine back then, and that back then they were close to Samuel, and that Samuel was talking about he about how God wanted to start something over there, but then Samuel told God, no, don't do it. The church isn't ready to experience that phase of the apocalypse, not the apocalypse of the rapture of the end of times. So
Yeah.
this person when I was younger, they told me a story about how when they were younger, Samuel knew something was going on in Israel and Palestine, and he told God to stop it so that he could continue to prepare the church. And this
Okay.
person that told me the story, they said that when they heard that when they were younger, this really affected them and really made them believe like in the authority of Samuel and the church and whatnot. And um
It's the typical
I wonder
tactic.
what what were you gonna say?
Oh, it's the tactic they use. The apostle has to he always intervenes and he saves the day, right?
Yeah, it's strange. Like
Yeah.
he's supposed to know everything. He can affect whatever he wants. And well, what I'm saying is that like, this hurricane he didn't stop, and then this conflict in Israel and Palestine has also gone on. And I don't know if the church has said anything official. I wonder what they say and what they exactly think. But
Yeah.
there are some members that I don't know if they're from Israel or they say they've gone, but I know that they've gone. I know that some members have gone, and I just hope that the church isn't using this as like another way of affecting members and keeping members scared, telling them that there's like international conflict going on,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
like also like Trump is facing charges and going going to hearings, and people are flipping on him, and all this news around Trump. I hope that the church isn't using that also as something to like scare people and keep them corralled
Hmm.
in. What do you think
I
about that?
I think I haven't heard them saying anything because I remember like the church would go that far to where I remember when there was the Santa Cena here in the first one here in Cali in Anaheim. I want to say no, San Bernardino. It
San
was
Bernardino, 2018.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
like a stadium type, and they said
Yeah.
there were so many thousands of people, and that there was no way because it wasn't even like you couldn't even fit that many people in that place. It wasn't like you just couldn't do it legally. And they said they had all these members go. And when you looked at there was like a picture from on top of the view because they always like to post the pictures, and like half of the thing was empty, and it was like supposed to be like whole all of US, and it was just like a little bit of people, bro. Like really, it was weird. But I remember one of the pastors got up and said that the president at the time, who was it? I can't remember. That the president had said that he heard about the reunion and that he really wanted to make it, but maybe next time
Oh,
he was
Trump. It
gonna.
was Trump back
Was it
then.
Trump? It was just like I remember like I didn't think much of it. I don't know why, but they've always used they like to use stuff like that for sure. And another one was I remember if you know the pastor well wannabe pastor Carlos Montemayor when he went on his because he had this guy had a YouTube channel, and I remember when COVID came
Yeah.
and he was literally saying, this is why this is happening. You guys wanna lock up they're servants of God. Well, then God's gonna lock everybody up in their homes because of COVID or whatever. It was just like, what?
It was really
Stop,
ugly. It was
stop
really
this
ugly.
madness.
I remember seeing that, and it felt like such a just ugly thing to do, and like to discuss and frame the world for people and like talk to them like that way. It,
Dude.
so
I
was it?
remember
Go on.
when I was doing like my research and like like slowly leaving the church and doing and finding all this stuff out is when COVID was like hitting hard, bro. I'm gonna be honest, I got really scared, and I was thinking like, yo, what if I'm wrong, and now that COVID's here because they locked up Nason, and what if I die because of COVID? Like, what if this is like a curse or something? Like, I got to think that I was that guy, so I know that there's levels to like being so brainwashed or manipulated. Sorry for saying brainwashed. I'm not trying to be like mean, but like or be that like rough vocabulary, whatever. But like
I
the
used to.
churches, they use these tactics, bro, and it does work. I mean, maybe not on a lot of people, bro, but it gets people like and it's always a fear tactic, right? Or like oof, like the church. It's like the president this or the hurricane that. Like they like to just make the church always seem like this, like it's just like no other. So I get what you're saying for sure.
I get what you're saying too. It is definitely like a tactic of lying, just constant lying and framing and of things going on in the world to keep them corralled in, like you were saying. um I remember, yeah, and I definitely remember when COVID began, there was the phrase of just as humanity has decided to arrest God, so has God decided to arrest humanity, which means like quarantining them, unleashing
Yeah.
the pandemic on them to to arrest us all and keep us all away as punishment for like for retaining him. And the thing
There-
is that like not even and that's like a collective punishment of like humanity. And God isn't even, not everyone on the planet doesn't even know about Nathan, like barely people know about this guy. I'm never satisfied with how much people know about him, because it's not enough. And people, the more people need to know about it, in terms of like as a way of trying to get to everybody else who just hasn't gotten out yet. It sucks that people have been lied to, but they have to face the fact that they've been duped for so long, that they have wasted so much time, maybe
yeah.
resources, etc., to this, and just get out, because like it's you're only like keeping yourself away from more time on the other side of this. Like you have to do the hard work of getting out, and it looks differently for everybody. But you know, you everyone has to do what's best for themselves, and you know that includes like educating themselves, listening to all the different, listening to all the information out there, trying to connect with people, asking questions about what to do, and when you're getting out, questions about like your spirituality, about your living situation, about I don't know, talking points, you know, things like that is different for everybody. I you know, I hope that people just are just tired of this, are just like fatigued by being
Yeah.
lied to, because it's not even interesting. Like it's so boring. It must be so boring to be in there, like constantly in your own, in your little bubble like that, and not having, not like engaging deeply in everything else that's going on in the world. Um, you know, Nathan's not that interesting. Like he really isn't. And everyone has to realize that they haven't seen a miracle, and
You know what
that
I noticed? Every
mhm,
time he would get up on stage, I'm gonna say stage because
yeah, it's
I
a
mean it was
stage.
just
It's a stage for sure. It's
he
treated
would
like,
always say like the same lines, dude, of just like this guy was really like not educated on the Bible. Like everything he would say, if it was like something like, oh, it was like already script and written down by who knows who, and he would just read it. He would mess up. He would stutter. I remember one time he was giving greetings to the guy that would welcome him into the stage, and he called him an apostle. It was so funny, bro. It was like weird. I don't know, but like if you look at like and as someone as a normal person, you start to really see like behind, all that glamour they like to like, you know, put on him, and it's just pretty funny. Um,
yeah.
um,
Let me say that last time we spoke about this, you were like, yeah, this dude has acne up close. This dude has this dude has this dude has like all these expensive cars and all these properties that they don't do anything with. They're not churches in and of themselves. They're just
yeah.
properties for him, ways of retaining like wealth. The guy's never visited my house before. And another thing that I often think about is that like back in the times of the Bible that they are so obsessed with, you know, in the times of Jesus, you know, Jesus had his 12 apostles like to begin with, and there was only so many people on the planet. Well, then now that there's so many more other people on the planet, um, and so many other things going on in the world, God, you know, in the present day of La Luz Del Mundo's movie, as you say, you know, this movie that they're living through, um, they they only have one apostle, and that guy's in jail, and that guy's like not doing anything. He's not doing anything hands on to even help the church, and the church is like completely hampered by that. And as I wonder, like I literally dare, I dare the organization to say when they're going to have 6 million members, when they've reached 10 million members, when they reach like any number of significance. Like we don't know what the numbers are now, but we know that the numbers are so muddled. And like you were saying, you know, Nathan Nathan has acne up close. He messes up. I remember one time when the apostle like said the wrong year during a New Year's transmission. He said the wrong New Year. And then there was another one where uh oh, how about the example when Nathan is saying, when he's called upon by God for the very first time, he says that he heard the voice of God, and then that he thought it was a joke. He thought it was someone around him playing a joke on him. You know,
Oh yeah.
everyone has to like realize that these things were under our noses to begin with, and we all have to learn um, to accumulate them in our heads and like ask ourselves questions about this, and realize
Yeah.
it's all like just fake. Yeah, go on.
It's so funny that you say that because I picture it in my head, right, when God's calling us on, and then he's like, wait, it's probably a prank. Let me check the hallway if it ain't my brother. My dad
Yeah.
just died, but he might be pranking me. Let me just double check God real quick. And God is like, bro, I'm in front of your face. I'm talking to
Hmm.
you right here. What do you mean? Do you think this is a prank? It was so weird. And also, I remember now that I think about it, you know how Nason likes to talk very like the Bible seréis, vosotros, and all this like weird. And I remember like there was times where he would like Like he would like talk to somebody near him real quick, and you could hear him in the background, and he would talk normal, like he would mess up his like wait cut cut, and then talk to somebody really fast, and he talked normal Spanish, bro, like a Mexican that he is, and then go back into like say, oh, God. And I'm just like, yo, like it's just so funny, but um people, I think a lot of them the higher ups wouldn't allow the members to see him like in court because it really shows him who he is. Like this guy's just a person, bro. Like
Yeah, yeah,
like he's a person, and especially with these documentaries, like so many came out. My favorite one is I think you mentioned the HBO Max. I mean they're all good, but I think for me the HBO Max is just, bro. It was so intense when they showed, um, my favorite part. I'm just gonna straight out just talk about it is Alondra's
yeah,
husband. Alondra's husband.
yeah, for sure.
You can see the sincerity in his face. Um, this dude is hurt. He's broken. He's, I mean, for members to think like that's not like these people want to just make that up. Like, like if I was in his position and just to like, hey babe, let's make this up. I'm gonna we're gonna lie, and you're gonna be this horrible person. You're gonna go to jail for just a certain time, and it's okay. I'll wait for you. Like, come on, man. Like, really? It. I don't even know what to say. Honestly, it's like
Mhm.
members have to like. I don't know, dude. I think at this point, um, they either have not watched the documentaries, or if they have, it's really bugging them. Like they know, like this is
It must be
this
so
is
annoying. It
real.
must be really annoying to see one of these things and like there's really nothing like truly compelling that people can say in return. I don't feel like um I
It blows
feel
my
like
mind, bro. Like,
like you said, there's a lot of documentaries and they're all very good. I hope people see multiple of them, if not all of them. I can't say
yeah,
I've seen everything documentary wise the same way I can't say that I've seen everything on YouTube and whatnot that people have out there, um there's just so much out there, and then these people have to realize that yeah, Nathan is not is this is a person, just as much as he is a person that has been scamming everybody and whatnot. He's also been that same person in court when he's facing like the charges, and he doesn't turn around to face um, the Jane Does that are giving their testimony. He doesn't, he stays frozen in that seat, not facing, not ever speaking up. Like when he does speak up, his voice is very weak and not commanding as he has been used to in the past couple of years of his life. Not his whole life, but he's been like raised in a certain way that shows that this whole spectacle of the church like was not sustainable on the ground as it spread through people, but then
hmm
also now, especially like right now, as it has to face um, the criminal justice system, and it has to face the media and various media organizations that are motivated by money. Like that's okay. I understand that these people are motivated by money, but when you watch these things, they say and show some compelling stuff that really doesn't even make me think twice about what I was already thinking and knew prior to going into those documentaries. Like,
yeah, for
we
sure.
go into them from the point of like, dang, I know all this stuff. I know all these things, and the story's going to be put together for me in a certain way here, and in a certain narrative through HBO, through A&E, etc. But then the members who to whatever extent are like still stuck in thinking that the church is right and has never been wrong, and Nathan is completely innocent and all that stuff. Um, they are realizing that they go into it in a much more harsh and like radioactive way. Like it's just two magnets just completely like trying to repel each other. Um, and I
Yeah,
hope that like we've been saying this whole time, but I hope that people's curiosity is continually sparking, and that the dominoes fall little by little in people's minds to motivate them to get out.
It will, dude.
Mhm.
They can say, they're humans. They can say my faith is strong and this and that. At the end of the day, they go home and they think, bro, because they're not dumb. No one's dumb here. Like everybody has a brain. It's just common sense. If I mean, I always wonder if all these documentaries are like it's all just fake and all these people are lying. Like, why hasn't the church sued HBO Max? Why haven't they sued, VIX, A&E? Like, bro, they make money. Um,
I want to
but
say also that even apart from like suing all these people, make your own documentary. Like, make the record all the miracles Nathan has done. Like make a video, a compilation video of it. And
right,
the church isn't we have to make people realize that the church isn't like combating and rebutting as much as it could and it should. It
bro, they
doesn't.
could use they're on the spotlight, right? They wanted always to be on the stage, on the spotlight, on the on the view of the world. This is their chance. They can come back with their own like movie documentary and just put it there for the world to see. Like, this would be perfect where now someone gets to play the hero, gets to play all these miracles that they just tell us, But imagine how they would look, bro, to the world that are in a neutral state of mind and they can actually think, like they haven't, because a lot of the members have gone through a process since they were
Mhm.
kids to believe in this whole movie act or whatever. But it just shows, bro, like I think they're very weak. They're not as strong as they used to be. Um, and I think man, I just encourage a lot of people to watch these if you haven't already. Um, watch these documentaries. It'll just really open your mind more. Um, it just a lot of the people that are on the documentaries are people that were very close they knew Nason very close. You know, um, and it's wild to think that these members are just and it's funny that the members that are really are talking about are giving information are people that were very close to or knew Nason in a certain way. They either worked in Berea or their pastor's relatives or someone like close. And it's like, why would it's like if you think about it like in a different kind of aspect. Let's say it was like a uh something that happened in some family, like you would believe the people that were around this person. um I mean, who does it take for you to hear it from to believe it? And I think I told you this one time in a video where I was like, how would the church react if they arrested, like, let's just say one of his brothers got arrested and his own brother snitches him out or something like that? Like, would that kind of change? Like, does it have to be somebody like his brother, his mother, or like his own son, or someone that's very close to him for you to like believe? Like, how far does this have to go? It's just common sense. you know um no one just makes up this kind of lies, right?
Can
We've
I
always said
jump
this.
in with some things? Yeah, I want to say that um earlier you picked the example of you picked the example of Alonda's partner. I forget his name.
Yeah, yeah,
Alonda's
yeah.
partner who showed up in the HBO documentary back in December and 2022, and then also showed up in like I think he also showed up in the Netflix one or one of these more recent ones. He
Yeah,
showed
I
up
think so
again,
too.
and that guy is compelling. I wish I could talk to him more. Very interesting material, certainly important. I was gonna say that
Very,
um
very strong guy, dude.
yeah. And then also the Jane Does show up in the Netflix documentary. They don't have to show their face fully, but they're there and they're real people. And we want people to realize that there's real people out there that are to different extents are removed and close to what happened. And you have to, everyone has to realize that so many of us are not close to that, and we have to discern and take in the information, discern, decide, and and weigh our different options about what to believe. And the obvious thing that has to go away and that has continually lost, that the argument that is continually lost, is that um that Nason is who he says he is. And he's, as we've seen, he's not that. He'll never be that. And and like you say, the family, that that family has also not really budged on each other too much. And that, what would it take if that family started falling apart, or if someone in that family, or in that network of the people who pull the strings, who run the doctrine, start to decide that now there's going to be two more apostles that pop up from, maybe all the brothers like turn into apostles. And what would happen there? Or like, what would if or like if the son like dies, and who is left to, the son Adoraim, like just for example, like he gets into an accident. There's always a possibility of anybody on this planet, dying randomly. And let's say that guy like passes away, and the church had the plan of like making him the next apostle. What would happen? Why hasn't Adoraim done the other Santa Cenas? Do you remember he did the first one back in 2019 when his father was first arrested? And then he
Yeah.
was like, oh, and then he's gone. And the church is not being as transparent as it can be. That's just always been a fact of this whole thing.
Maybe
And
he's embarrassed because like they
Mhm.
were like on him on social media,
Oh
and he
yeah.
was just like, I ain't not going out there no more, man. Nah. You know what's funny that you say like his brothers become apostles or his son become the next apostle? Like what happened to the original script of God coming for the church after someone died? You know what I mean? Like you see how it slowly transitioned to like now an apostle, the next one, and the next one. And they cap so much on like the Catholic Church with the popes. That's kind of what they do, right?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
exactly, but it's like the same thing, bro. Like, and it's worse because it's like your son, and then your grandson, and then his son, and it's kind of like a royalty kind of thing. And it's like, okay, like, really?
Yeah, that's what people mean when they say spiritual monarchy, or like spiritual North Korea. Like I
Yeah,
remember saying that like years ago. There's a lineage of power, and people say that,
for
oh no,
sure,
it's
dude.
not truly a lineage, but I mean, there's a different thing operating the succession of power. And people are like, oh, but it just turns out to be a lineage. I
I, I
This
think
thing
this is
can't
the
survive
end,
a lot. Like I wonder I really wonder what this whole organization looks like in like 50 years. Is this thing
bro.
like what does the end of it like look like? What is uh-huh.
I don't think Aloraim or anyone is up next anymore. I think this is it, bro. I think they need to come up with like, you know what, God's gonna, and it's not gonna. I think it's just it. I think it reached its peak because members. I would always tell people, bro, Nason, he's either gonna if he dies, even before he was arrested. I would always think this to myself. This guy's about to be 50. He's gonna live. People usually live to like 75, 80 at the most, right?
I was thinking that
He's
too.
got he's got 30 years left to live. Like I'm barely like I was 22 and I would think that 25 around there. I was like I'm gonna be like barely like in my late 40s. My kids are gonna be like in their early late mid 20s. Like this is it, you know? And I would think like, and then I would be like, no, Julian, don't think like that because that's just the devil and blah blah blah. But it's like, bro,
It's com-
like, yo, like, what's gonna
I was
happen?
thinking
Like,
that too,
we are on a
dude.
time limit, and I would get so depressed, dude. I would get so depressed because it was like reality in my head. The movie. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, sorry, I thought I muted it.
Okay.
In my head, now that I understand what was going on, the movie was playing this part, and then my reality was also like they were just like clashing and clashing, and like to members who hear this, is like, yo, Nason, I really don't think he's getting out. I'm just gonna be real.
He's
I
not.
mean, there's a chance he might win this federal case, but I really doubt it. And if that happens, which is gonna, I feel like I'm like 99.99999% that he ain't getting out.
Mhm.
And like, who's next? Let me just prophesize it. Alrain is next. I
Yeah.
don't even think he can be next. Like, what's gonna happen to the church? Like, think about it, bro. Like, members are probably
I-
thinking, like, what's gonna happen, bro? Like, I mean, Adoraim has so much dirt on him, all the DUIs, and not to like put him down on that way. Nobody's
yeah.
perfect. I've committed things too in my past, but it's like I don't know how to say it, bro. Like, just the nature of La Luz del Mundo, it destroyed its own self, you know, because they like to make they always preach that the family was like this hardworking family, but now that's gonna backfire because now that they find out that, for example, Ibrahim his past with all this like DUIs and all this dirt on him, like, so that was a lie. It's just like it's like a self destruction kind of thing.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean?
self-imploding. I was gonna say that I agree with how with your assessment that like I don't know what this thing I don't know what that this thing is definitely on the down slope,
Yeah.
and it's kind of in a boring part maybe. It's maybe not in the most interesting part sometimes, but it has never gotten any good news.
They
Um,
sh- they should have never.
I think the circle is shrinking. I don't know what the next like iteration of their story is, of their lore, of what they do to sell, their image to everybody. I don't know what that looks like. It's definitely on the downslope. Alan Jackson isn't representing Nason lately anymore. Sorry, Alan Jackson isn't representing Nason lately. It's somebody else. I can't remember their name, but I'm sure if you look this person up, they are I don't know who they are. I wonder who they are.
On
Let
this
me
new
also
federal,
say
are you
that
talking about this new federal case?
yeah,
Oh,
someone
really?
close to Nason put out a document that was talking about in response that was in response to the charges in the federal case.
Oh, wow. I thought it would be Alan Jackson, but then again,
No,
we
it's
got to
not Alan
remember.
Jackson anymore. So can I
Yeah,
tell you something interesting? And I don't know if I'll probably clip this out of the video. I hope
it
I
couldn't be Alan Jackson. I agree with that because he specializes in rapists. So now that.
No, he actually doesn't just do that because where I am staying at close by, he is representing somebody who supposedly accidentally ran over a police officer, and this person says that Alan Jackson is representing the woman who supposedly accidentally ran over the guy, and she's saying that it is a cover up between that guy and his friends and some people. That's what Alan Jackson is saying. So it's strange because he's doing this case that has nothing to do with like sexual assault or sexual crimes, anything like
Yeah.
that. And I don't know what to think about it either. But anyways, the point is that like even Alan Jackson has seemingly stepped away from California. He's not in California right now. He's way over here where I'm at, and
Hmm.
he's involved in that case to some extent. And I wonder who the church has moved on to. I don't think they can do anything important because nothing looks to be going right for them. And I want people. I know, and if anyone who's a member who is still in this and is having like this cognitive dissonance, appear in their mind, I want somebody to like send me a list of things that have been major wins for the church that would like make me reconsider anything. It wouldn't and everything I know is already is already said actually. But what I mean is that like please like what is the best news that anybody has for what's going on in the church? Like nothing good has been going on. You guys you guys have Berea as like a whole institution, and you can come out with your own responses to every documentary. Mobilize like all your resources and everything to set a response to us to like I don't know, sue HBO. Like that, like that's not happening. Make more money for yourselves.
No, I
Did you
agree.
mind if I stop this so I can go to the restroom?
Go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be
I'll
right
get a
back.
snack. I'll get it.
I'm resuming now. Okay, for sure. Um, Yeah, my mind is going in a number of directions as we were talking about Julian and I can't like respond to everything, but so much comes to my mind. But the everything's going downhill, and we've stepped away to a certain extent, but we're still really informed, and we think like this is just our assessment of everything that's going on. We hope that is going good for everybody else that's out there. And yeah, what were
I
you
like
saying?
how. Sorry, I want to just say this. I love how like the aftermath of like how I'm like enjoying myself or how I live. Like you, AJ, you have um you're just you're doing your thing, you're getting your stuff done and like I wish and I know it's not easy. There's like there's still things that need to be worked on and family and things like that. But I like that too. I like people like the people who watch these videos, like probably like youth members or a lot of people that are maybe still like in some way like going through stuff. I like them to see us as like who we really are, and we're just chilling, dude. Like we're just like like I go to the gym and I have fun, and um I wish the same for you and for anyone that sees his videos, and really just feel like the energy and the I hope they don't take anything as like we're like attacking the church, because that's never been our intention. The members, we're doing it for the members to give them some type of like, and I know
Yeah,
it doesn't always come out like that because they're still in that side of the fence, and to them I understand completely, like they feel like we're attacking them, but really our intentions is more like just to kind of, at least for me, or it's just to kind of show them like how it is, like to just take a little break back, like you always say, back off and see this whole thing, like how it is, like you know like just look at
yeah.
the big picture and just you know
Yeah,
um
everyone has to move on, and I think like we've done that for ourselves to a good extent, and we stay in contact, and we've seen each other just continue doing well in terms of being outside of the church, and we have to let everybody know that everybody has to get there at some point, and it's for we hope that it's for their own good, and that they can step outside of everything and get to see it for themselves also, like get to see for themselves what they got out of at what point, and at least
yeah,
get to move on to a better phase in their lives and get to see, even as just like entertainment, um to get to see like this organization like crumble and go away. And and I it's probably the case that the people that get out now can probably do even more damage, like can probably, and what I mean damage is by like good stuff, like good trouble. Like you can, people that get out now can probably start to speak out for themselves and see what else has gone, say add other points to the arguments, add other like talking points. They can talk about new different testimonies if they want to. They can, or maybe not even that, but people can get out and help other people get out more. They are close. The people that are in now are close to all the other people who are in there, and everyone is has to be guessing what everyone else is thinking. And
yeah,
that's what I mean by helping other people get out, and adding their own testimony is, people, people like us can say all these things that we want, but then there's also people who are still in there, who are familiar with what everyone else is being told exactly, and they can
yeah,
tailor it to that and speak to that, to help people reason out of something that they were not reasoned into. That's something that I've said on this channel like all the time. I can't remember the last time I said it, but um, I had said, no one in La Luz del Mundo is like reasoned into this. Reason and like logical thinking is not the strategy to get you into this thing. It's other things that keep you in this community and in this organization. And so the question becomes like, what happens when you start when you start reasoning and asking questions and exploring your curiosity and trying to get uh, answers out of people up close to you, and then trying to see if people around you can give you answers to stay in, because at some point you got to decide that you have to get out, and you have to start doing the work of that. And I gotta say that it was it was not tiring while I was doing it. It was not um it was not tiring while I was doing it, but on the other side of it, it was very tiring to do everything I had to do to get myself out and talk to people to about getting out and what they were doing to help like change the situation. Um,
Yeah.
Nixon isn't coming out of jail. I think he's in there for his lifetime, whether he's in possession of the state or whether he's in possession of the federal court. Um, um, it has never looked pretty for him. And then there's I don't know what's going on with these lawyers, but they're not interesting to me anymore. Like they're not saying anything truly interesting anymore at this point to combat the documentaries to do anything to help to truly help him.
I'm curious to um not so like how can I put this? I just wonder like what's gonna be the future for like to make the church survive. And when I say church, I don't mean like the members. What I mean by like is like I wonder like what Nason's family's doing because they haven't shown their face, bro. You know, like where I think they are trying to secure the bag. You know, like some
Yeah, yeah.
financial stuff. I think something big is coming. I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to like put up there any like rumors at all. I don't know anything, but I'm putting myself in their shoes and I'm thinking, you know, they know not. I think they're pretty much know that Nason ain't getting out, and they need to secure some financial things. Maybe sell some properties. Maybe claim, hey, this I'm gonna claim this house. You can claim that house. I don't know something, and maybe like start some type of business to just keep their money flowing because I feel like they're probably their fear is that the church is only going to get probably like smaller. I know there's not a lot of money coming in anymore,
There's no there can't be, right? Like it's like so much has been spent on the defense and trying to quiet people and trying to like all that stuff. Yeah, I definitely agree that right now there's a bunch of financial conversations going on that we're not privy to. And
Yeah.
people are figuring out what to how to divest, how to step away, how to cut off ties and move on with whatever amount of money that they have. It's really
Hmm.
unfortunate, but a lot of people have made so much money off this thing. And I hope that it
Yeah.
has and I hope that people stop giving their money and realize that they can maybe claim money back. I don't know what that looks like, but I hope that people can realize that they've been duped for so long, and this whole thing has to crumble. This whole thing has to go away because the very like lifeblood of it is so like tainted now.
Yeah, and I want to encourage people to they might look at us and be like, we're just two young kids, just talking. But I would encourage them to what really hit me hard was listening to like pastors who've left. Like one that I really really like. I like the way he talks. Is Joel Silva. You probably heard about him.
Yeah,
He
for
used
sure.
he was like he had to do with like the building construction in the main
Yeah,
building in Jalisco,
yeah.
Hermosa Provincia. Like when that guy talks, bro, I go on a voyage. Like he paints like the timeline, and I'm just like, duh, 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 like watching everything that he's saying. I encourage people to reach out to like these people that know a lot of information. And sometimes it takes maybe not to know so much about like the case and all that, but listening to like the past things of stories, of these guys back in the day that they know a lot of stuff, bro, and it really gives them a real description or a real image of who these guys really are. People who know how these guys behaved and just the nature of how they act in their natural habitat. Like just it helped me out a lot. Um, those were the because I couldn't something had to break just make a crack in me to like really think outside of the like dare me to like really push me to my limits to like what I mean and yeah, so just encourage people to keep doing more research. There's always that one person that's barely starting to do the research.
Hmm.
So like to me and you it may seem like we're already probably like at the very end. We already came out of the tunnel. We're just here just recapping, touching up. It's good to see you, but there's probably kids that are still like barely starting, right, to like get information. So I
Yeah,
just
for
encourage them to
sure.
keep doing it, and look up ex pastors, ex LLDM on YouTube, ex pastor, whatever you got to do. Just go for it.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree. I know Joel Silva. I spoke to him a little bit, and then I've definitely seen him in different videos on YouTube and elsewhere. And for sure, I think even in documentaries he shows up. Super interesting, material. And it doesn't even have to, people can. There's so many ways of like crumbling down LLDM in your mind. It doesn't have to just be like the court stuff. You don't have to learn all. You don't have to learn Latin and like legalese. You don't have to learn all that. You can learn about other criticisms of the culture of the doctrine of the
Yeah,
way the organization runs, and that can get you out. I encourage that in everybody else, and I hope that and they know that both of us are available to talk about this stuff um, personally, one to one. And I hope that I look forward. I look forward to more. I don't feel like we've ever been proven wrong. I don't think anything we've said on here has been egregiously like wrong about
yeah,
the church, and that has compelled us to like backtrack anything we've said. Um, I I look forward to it. So yeah,
I,
thank you for talking to me so
for
far,
sure, dude. I have so much fun, bro. I remember our
and
first
we'll talk
video.
again for sure in the
I,
future.
I remember our first video. I was just like, bro, it was like I exploded. I was just like, nah. I think back, to like the first video, and it was so much fun.
Hmm.
It was so much needed. Like I had to like just let it out. I think a lot of people feel that same way, and that's probably why they watch these videos because they want to like like find an outlet or something. So I
Hmm.
totally feel everything they're experiencing or they've experienced like you know I've experienced it, AJ for sure, you, and we still do at some points, but it kind of became kind of like a neutral thing to me now, where you just learn how to deal with stuff. But yeah, if anybody has anything that they're going through or just questions, they can give you a comment on this video, and I'm looking forward to making more videos. I was telling AJ, I'm acting like I'm talking to people and I'm talking
Oh
to
yeah,
you.
for sure. No, it's okay.
Um,
I understand.
if what would people like to see more? Like just me and
For
you,
sure.
just being in our natural, just nat us just naturally just like, hey, let's make a video and talk about like a certain thing to have fun. Like it could be like anything that we thought was weird within the church, a specific thing. It could be like a 30-minute or 10 minutes. Because we've
Yes,
been making
definitely.
long ass videos. I noticed like YouTube is really like 7-minute videos. We've been making like chapters, but
Yeah, we've
yeah,
been making long, long
yeah,
discussion stuff, and I agree. I want to be useful for people. I've stepped away from it all because I have crazy work to do, and
yeah,
and it's really cool and it's really good, and it's helped me like stay away from church in a good way, but then also to another way, I want to get pulled back in. I want to be
yeah.
helpful for other people to listen to us. People are excited to it. People are excited about it. I appreciate that, and I also
Mhm.
want to help the organization, the conversation as it exists online. I want to help that in whatever way I can. And
Yeah, for sure.
it's really useful to talk to you, and really helpful for me and for everybody else, I hope.
Yes, yes, sir,
Mhm.
man. So yeah, if we make more videos, I hope people, just in the comments can say, just make videos where we just kind of like chill and talk about a certain thing, or maybe they have questions on, or maybe they have ideas of what to make a video on, and it could be like a short 20, 30 minutes. Now, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just
for sure.
chilling, having some coffee or energy drink, and just, oh
Mhm.
yeah, let's talk about this real quick. Blah, 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 blah. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
you and I will definitely stay in touch. That'll be the start of it, and and we'll also and we'll reach out to people to ask them, if they have any other questions on specific things. We
yeah,
went into this with like it with kind of with bullet points and then not really, but I'm glad that we basically spoke. I basically spoke about every direction, and I want I hope this can help other people, and I appreciate your time, dude. We'll
yeah, for
definitely
sure,
have it
dude.
again very soon, and I'll stitch this up, and I'll try to like clean this up in whatever way I can, and then I'll send it to you, and then we'll get to upload it for everybody.
Yeah, sure, man. I'm always getting ideas. I'm gonna start just writing things down so we can have like a little topic. Cause I'll be at work, dude, and then I'll have like, that, whatever about church.
Mhm.
Oh, that was crazy. Or that was funny, or
Yeah.
whatever. Like, it just like happens all the time, dude.
Yeah, for
And not
sure.
that I'm like, not that I'm like being like I'm going through like an episode or anything like that. It's just like, like I just think about it, just happens, right? Any ex member knows what I'm talking about. You'll be like at work and then it'll naturally remind you of something. It's just funny. But all right, man. Sounds good.
Yeah, man. Good to see you. Hold on. I'm gonna pause the recording now.